Hey, welcome back to another video. Same day, same My Troops as Your Church channel. I used to watch the Batman show when I was a kid. It used to be the same bat time, same bat channel. Kind of neat how, as kids, we look up to the superheroes that do good deeds and had little gadgets so they could had more ability than normal humans. Well, the thing I've done that I started it a couple years ago now, and I don't know if anybody else has done it before me, but I started doing this a couple years ago, and right now it's February 18th, 2026, and I started doing this a couple years ago at the foundry that I was working at, and I started, this is tying into my superhero stuff that I was talking about with Batman and how we look up to superheroes and have beyond normal human abilities to do good things, do good deeds, you know. And so I'd go up to people at the foundry and started put my hand on my chest, and I'd go up to them and I'd say, you know, every time I'd say, you know, they'd listen because they knew I had another story to tell. And I'd say, you know, I'm a superhero. I'd say, I'm a superhero, just like Superman. I have an emblem on my chest. And then I'd take my hand off and I'd see my cross. And most people would smile or say, that's really good. Or that you could just see them light up like they liked it. Did it to a pastor at the church too, and he smiled and pointed at me. He says, that's good. But yeah, I've been doing that for a couple years now to people. Did it to a stranger the other day and made him smile too. That was in the Walmart parking lot. An older guy. So guessing he was maybe mid-60s, early 70s maybe. And he just seemed like he had a lot on his mind, you know. And I was talking, my friend Tony was parked next to me. We were visiting her back in the parking lot. And when I seen this guy coming, I did the same thing to him and said something about me being a superhero and I got powers like Superman, and just like Superman I got an emblem on my chest. When I took my hand off, he seen my cross, he started to smile a little bit. So it took from whatever seriousness he had going on in his mind, it made him crack a grin. And then I said, God bless you. I said, I know I'm being a goofball, but yeah, or whatever. And then he kind of went his way, but I could see he got a smile. So I reached him in one way or another. You know, I don't know how much, but I hope it helped him with whatever he had going on. The building's totally stripped down now. It used to be a Kentucky Fried Chicken, and now there is no evidence that it was a Kentucky Fried Chicken. All the signage and everything is off that building now. I don't see no cars there or nothing, so it's not like they're making it into something new. If it was closer to the main town, I don't know why, but I keep looking at different buildings and stuff. I really like that little house that I keep dreaming about. Why I can't get it out of my head. Man, my soul, something's really reaching to that place. I feel like I'm supposed to have that house, but I don't know how to get it. I feel very peaceful there. It's just a little rundown house. The reason it's so dang expensive is because it's on a lake. It's a little tiny lake, little private lake. I don't even think there's a public boat access to it. People do want too much for it because of how run down the work the house needs and stuff. It used to be somebody's cabin in the 50s or something, you know, a little 400 square foot deal. There I go, bouncing on another subject again. We have been looking at buildings and stuff too, at property. Why I don't know. Part of property is normal for me, whether it's a little house or property, because of living in the camper and wanting to have a home base, you know. So it's natural for me to look at little houses and property or that. And if I couldn't get that little house, I sure hope I can. It's weird, I don't have nothing, but yet I keep dreaming about it. I just said that a second ago. Repeated it again. And so pretty up there. But property, even if I could get a piece of property, I could at least have a place to go park the camper where I don't feel like I'm shooed away, you know. I haven't been shooed away in town at all yet, you know, and I'm thankful for that. You know, but, you know, because of society and city ordinances and population and stuff, you know, I know what happens to people. Thank you, Lord, that you've been protecting me from that not happening, and I've been able to meet all these people in these situations. Yeah, I'd like to have a little piece of property, and if I could get a bigger piece of property, as long as I can not have zoning problems with it or something. I started talking about that earlier, as I want to take, especially if I get property, and I'd like to have that little house, but even outside that little house, I'd still like to get property. As long as I can do it through zoning and not have it be a big problem somehow and figure out how to do that, I want to make it kind of like a little campground, but not so, I don't know how to explain it, but basically I want to have spots, and if I can, I want to be able to run electrical to it, to all those spots, and even if it isn't 30 and 50 amp, even if I can even just have good, strong, reliable 120 running to each slot, like, you know, I mean, I'd like to have it be set up for 50 or 30 amp for stronger power needs. I'll have to figure it out when that time comes, you know. I can't get into all the details right now because I don't even have a pot to piss in, so to speak, at the moment. But, turn on my headlights, get kind of visibility hazy. What I'd like to do, and then have different spots. Of course, the bigger the property, the better. And I'd like to have probably closer to the road somewhere, if I get plumbing run in, have a bathhouse, shower house, you know, to start out with anyway. And so travelers or nomads or whatever can come have a place to stop and stay for a while. Kind of a step up from BLM land. What BLM land is, if you don't know, and that's from the Bureau of Land Management throughout the United States. It's government-owned land that you can stay on for free. They might not have electric or anything like that, but you can stay there, and each BLM space has different rules. Some of them you got to move every 3 days or something. Some of them can be there 14 days, and then you got to move. So it doesn't mean you got to leave, but you got to go from one site to another at least. So that way you're not, you know, hunkered down and not taking care of a place or something, you know what I mean? So it kind of keeps things rotating, and so other people can get in there, you know? And so I want to do something like that, but I would like to have power there, and because I've learned a little bit about solar and stuff with what I got going on in my way, if possible, in the shower house, maybe all in that one, maybe I can make it one big building, or no, I don't know how code zoning would go, but if I separate it off, then I could do battery banks and solar that maybe they could run that stuff. I don't know. Maybe I could make it an off-grid place. I don't know. Or maybe it could be grid-tied. I don't know. Actually, it would be wiser to be grid-tied. So that way, when there's not energy being used, that energy would be, that I'm not using, would go to the power company for other power they need that would also fund the place. Anyway, that's what I'd like to do. Start there, and I got bigger ideas on how to really make it a really good educational learning place, helping people that are traveling or having tough times. And God, I got so many ideas on how to incorporate that into a nonprofit that could be like an educational place too, that could also provide work for people that wanted to earn a few bucks, and a place for them to stop and stay. And gosh, I got some really good ideas, but I don't know how to get there yet. You know, that's a whole different ball game than what I got going on this channel right now. But this is where I'm starting. So we'll see what all comes in the future. Maybe these ideas will come to fruition, maybe they won't. Maybe maybe somebody will want to invest in my ideas or something and sit down and talk to me about them and see if they like them. Maybe we can make it happen and help a lot. It would help the homeless community a lot. Part of it anyway, you know, I mean, people that are on foot wouldn't help as much, you know, unless it was close enough for them to get to in their travels, because they can still tent there, you know, still be able to plug in to charge your phone or whatever you carry, you know. And as long as the place has got running water and a place to shower and stuff, you know. And it would create employment, because I would need to hire somebody at some point once it's up and running to be able to, you know, make sure that the premises stay clean and stuff, you know, and there's stuff's working and maintained and all that good stuff, you know. That's what I'm talking about. In the process of that, it might be somebody that's staying there, that's having a tough time in life, that's like, hey man, yeah, I'd love to, yeah, I'll make sure that I'll go around and pick the place up and you know, or I'll clean the shower facilities, you know, blah blah blah. Well, and then they can earn a few bucks. Doesn't mean they gotta stay there, you know, but I can earn them a few bucks. And I was getting nervous right here. There's a real bad spot in the road that dips over and leans the whole camper, and there's a deep 20-foot deep ditch on the side or something, 20, 30 foot, I don't know. So then I'd like to have, an idea is to have semi-permanent employee there, you know, that once it's up and running, to kind of run or supervise stuff, but then in the process, you know, to be able to take care of the bookwork and everything for it, to if a traveler wants to make a few bucks, you know, we're able to put them to work and have them go around. If there's fire pit rings, maybe they can go around and clean the fire pit rings up, you know, or something, you know. They can make a few bucks while they're staying there free, you know. You know, just kind of, I know it'll, and as you go through it, you'll work out the bugs a little more, you know. It's going to have to be kind of a living, breathing business, kind of like the Constitution is a living, breathing document, you know. What makes it hard, of course, is city ordinances and stuff, you know. I have to figure all that out yet. I've already been doing some digging into it. Just another idea I got. Got some really good ideas about it. I've discussed it with a few people about different ideas, and they really seem to like it. Sure, a lot of them already wish there was a place like that. And I got an idea how to grow it too once it's proven principle. I guess from watching Shark Tank, I guess that's what we would call scaling it. You know, once you got a proven model that works pretty good, well, then you can scale it up. So, if by chance any of the Shark Tank people watch this video, get a hold of me. We'll talk. I think I'll impress you. If I don't, that's okay too. I'll still share who I am with you and share God a little bit. If you don't like it, well then that's okay. We still got to share some time together, and then we move on to the next thing, which I don't know what that is for me at the moment. God will bring me to it though. He always does. I was feeling kind of crappy this morning. Again, more challenges. Traffic here. I know I've been talking for a while, so I should probably bring this to a close. You got some traffic behind me too. Once again, give it a thumbs up if you would. Help spread the video, help it grow. Thanks for watching, and God bless you.